sheet floating around that never went out to bid because the council said, no, you can't go out to bid. So
How
we
can
said,
you have a
"Fine."
$3.8 million bid that never went out to bid?
Because they looked at it, they cut costs, they removed items, they kept it under the $5 million. With a cushion that if it went over bid by a couple $100,000, they still stayed under the $5 million. So for you to say, to stand in front of me today, to say there's not enough money to do the job, I disagree with you. There was plenty of money to do the job. We have to cut things out of the budget, which the PBIC tried to do, but...
All right, you know what, we're rehashing it. I just wanted him to be here to answer questions that were not, that were brought up that every week. Oh, Mr. Pop, so he was here, he answered the questions.
But I think we have to straighten out EMA. Where does the
There's nothing to straighten out.
You're so hung up on EMA.
That's the least of our
Let
worries.
him come here and tell us himself.
Invite him to come here and explain what's going on.
He's invited, he has an open invitation. He can come during open forum any day, any meeting you
At your
want.
next meeting, he can come.
Oh, we can, what I'm saying is even if he comes, I'm saying he can come anytime he wants.
Did I say that, and I called Mr. Branconi myself, I said, you must represent yourself to the meeting. Did I? And I told you I called him, and he said, I don't know if I can make it, and I told him, you better make it, this is your business. You have to get up and speak for yourself. And I related that to you after. Mr. Batney, you can verify that. I told Mr. Branconi that he has to go. And anything transpired,
I met with him, with Mr. Wazowski
And
back
that's
in
the
April,
only
and he
verbal
came
contact I
to
had.
our meeting the other night, and he confirmed that this set of plans that we're recommending that you approve for bridging documents be accepted, he looked at him and said he had no issue with it. Bottom line.
No.
Bottom line.
Excuse me, John. When Peter was leaving that meeting, he came, he was sitting next to me at the beginning of the meeting, and he wasn't as happy and delighted at the beginning of the meeting. And when he left at the end of the meeting, I said, I thought you said you were going to talk about the antenna and the generator. And he said, no, they don't want to talk about it. They keep telling me they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to discuss it. And I said, well, don't you need it? And he said, it's the money. They don't want to talk about it. So I don't know what that means.
All right, once again, let's get him up here to hear from him.
Let's get clear. That building needs a generator whether or not EMA is in it. Period. This is silliness that we're getting into this dialogue. I mean, are we going to take every department head and have them come in here and review the space plan? Because frankly, folks, this is my job. I'm talking with those folks. I'm working the process to make it work within the budget as best we possibly can. And frankly, this is not productive.
It's not productive, I agree, but let me say this. It was the reason I allowed this to happen was because this goes on every week. So let's answer the questions and put it to rest. Right, Brian, you had one last thing from Brian.
I have a simple question I'd like to ask Paul. Thank you. That is, has he had any discussion with the EMED director about communications and a tower for the antennas?
Yes, we have.
And is the money in the budget also?
Yes, there is.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Paul. Oh, we're gonna move on. We're still gonna approve.
Yeah, we're gonna stop this. We're gonna stop this.
That's why
We're done. I don't want to hear anything negative or anything.
that's why I did it.
This is ridiculous.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to continue the meeting to 10:30. Hopefully
We just have two more things, but go ahead. Yeah. That's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Barnamoli? Yes. Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
yes.
Mr. Walensky?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes. Request for approval for bridging plans. I have the,
It's our recommendation that you accept the plans that we submitted. You should all have a copy of them for bridging documents.
Is there a budget in that packet?
No, there's not.
How much? So we don't know what.
We don't know what the budget is. We're going out to bid.
Well, there's an estimate
No, there's not.
of nothing. So, but when you say the money.
no, we're done with this portion. That's it. Wait, we moved on.
I don't know how he said the money's in the budget for the antenna and the other, because he's now saying there's no budget.
All right, we're done with that.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna make a vote here. You wanna do that?
No?
So So the motion is to approve the bridging plans presented by Saccoccio and Associates as presented by the Building Review Task Force.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President, under further discussion, I don't have the plans, and so I'm going to recuse myself on the vote.
But you didn't,
Terry, why do you have a set date on?
we do,
I don't know.
we were all given a set.
That big one?
We're all given a set.
I spent 3.5 hours.
They're not all this
last
big.
night.
Yeah.
They're not all this big. You guys only got half, you guys only got half sets.
No, I got that one.
Okay.
Okay, I have it. Fold the one folded over?
That's the one.
Thank you very much. A little smaller, right? Okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second for approval. Is there any further discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli? Yes. Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
No.
Mr. Zalinski?
No.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes. I do have it. I saw all this. Must be on my desk. So we approved them, this is for the school. Give us 1 second, Paul. Request for approval of bid specification.
It's the big blue book. No, the big blue book. It's spec.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have
It's just-
Okay, I'll make a motion for approval of the bid specification book, project manual, July 11, 2018, for the new town hall and police headquarters renovations for the town of North Smithfield.
Second.
That's,
Can I ask?
any discussion? Well, yeah,
That's
that's,
what they call in,
Well,
where the annex?
Kendall
No.
Dean, so Kendall Dean.
Okay, all right, I'm saying no.
Okay.
Okay, I understand. It was just a little, just.
We're in the middle of the vote.
What about the Historic District Commission question?
We're in the middle of the vote, hold on.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second.
Discussion.
Further discussion?
I would like to discuss a few things.
Mr. Dudley?
We'll assume that you will vote yes on this, that it will be approved, the bid spec will be approved. I was hoping Cynthia would still be here, but I'll rely on Gary to relay this information. We would like the town finance director to put the front end on this, and it's already actually included in the bid spec. That advertising page is included in here. It's on, solicitor's page 1 of 1. It's about 5 pages in. Document number 001119, request for proposals. It's about a page and a half long. It just needs to have the dates filled in on it and whatnot. So it's our hope to have the finance director fill in that front end, and I want to give the dates for it and advertise it on July, get it into the papers July 20th, which would be Friday, which means it would run Wednesday of next week on the 25th in the Providence Journal and the Dodge Report. So the ad would appear on July 25th, 2018. There will be a CD provided by Saccoccio Associates on that date, and it's referenced in there that all this information, the spec book, and these plans will be available on the CD, anyone that's interested in bidding on it. 3-week bidding time, so bids will be due on August 16th. The bids would get open, they would go to Saccoccio for review, and the task force would review them on the 22nd to make a recommendation to the council, hopefully like by the beginning of September. And hopefully the town council will approve it, and we'll get a number that we can work with, and there'll be an issued notice to proceed September 30th, 2018, or sooner. So the project can get started. That's the timeline that we're looking at right now. based on your approval.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions at this point? Any comments? Roll call, Deb.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Do I have time to ask a question?
Can
Can I
you
get
ask
back
a
to
question?
you? You said so fast.
You can withdraw, you can hold the vote, I guess.
You can.
President,
It'll
you
still
got it.
pass. I'll say
So
no.
I can freeze a vote
If I,
right where
if
it
we
is?
can, I'll just say no.
No, go ahead,
We have
go.
3
Well,
days
no.
that-
No, go ahead, I
Okay,
can hold the
it'll
vote. He
Withdraw your
said,
motion.
Okay,
he said I can hold it, just hold it.
To be on the safe side, I think the main motion maker should withdraw, the second should withdraw, and then we have one dialogue, and then the main motion we can make it again. That's just my opinion. But I'm freezing the vote, I don't know about that. Sorry, Dave.
I withdraw my second.
This is going to throw emotions.
I just have 2 things. Being the new town hall, being in the historical district, has all problems been addressed as far as the revamping of the building, etc.
What do you mean by problems?
If you need a certain code as far as windows, anything.
That's going to fall to the design builder. The design builder will deal with those issues. Right now, you're taking bridging documents, and you approve them,
Yeah.
and there were bid specs that are based on these bridging documents. We're going out to bid to hire a design builder, which is not design bid build, which is the old way. This is
Yeah.
design build.
No?
Contractor and an architect are paired together. Can be either one. Can be the architect, can be the lead with a contractor, it could be a contractor with an architect. They're gonna take this, which is just a defined scope. What you saw in January was a conceptual plan.
Okay.
Now we've defined the scope of what we wanna see. Now a design builder's gonna come in and they're gonna say, well, you know what, if we move this wall and change this wall, we can save money, or it's gonna come a better
Yeah,
flow
yeah.
of design. That's what design builder's gonna do, and it's a work in progress. It's rolling right along. They could be working on the first floor while they're still trying to design changes in the second floor. It's a quicker process, it's a more cost-effective process, and we carry a lot less risk, the town. So, there will be changes to this plan, I guarantee you, by the design builder, with the approval of the architect that designed the bridging documents, because he works for the town. He's looking out for the town. He works for you. He works with us. So that when the design builder wants to make a change, it needs to get approval by the bridging design going forward.
Okay.
But it'll all be done to get to a point where it comes in on budget. Because he's going to give us a GMP. He's going to give us a guaranteed maximum price. Contractor or the design builder is going to give us a guaranteed maximum price. How he gets there, as long as it works with the architects, it's good to go. Whether he wants to use stick framing, metal framing, whether he says, you know, we can eliminate this wall and put in a different type of partition, those are the issues that the architect is going to deal with. He's going to, you notice there's no wiring in here, there's no lighting plan in here, there's no HVAC in here. That's the architect that's going to do that. But he has narratives that tell him what we're expecting. How he arrives at those, that's where he has some flexibility to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, you just mentioned wiring and lighting. To your knowledge, has any of that historical lighting been retained, and is it going to be implemented?
I can't tell you that. I would, to be honest with you, Paul, inside the building, putting up anything old isn't really worth it. I'll be honest with you.
The fixtures themselves, you can put a different type of bulb in, but I'm just wondering.
But you're not gonna get the same light that we
I get
get.
it.
And so we have to meet certain we need to meet certain standards. There's hundreds of penetrations in that tin ceiling up there that make it worthless. There's hundreds of penetrations in the wall that need to be patched. All that wiring when you walk through there that's on the outside of the conduits is gonna be inside the walls. And the reality was, if we had a bigger budget or an endless budget, you wouldn't have a 10-foot corridor in that room, in that building either. We would have shortened the corridors. But the cost to do that is just not realistic, not with the budget. You know, that's the one thing that we have. We have that advantage of hindsight. We know this is all you have. We need to make it fit a budget.
Things look like that before, I have that. Okay, yes, I'm ready to go.
Okay, let me redo the motion.
Yep.
So I will make a motion to approve the bid specification book for New Town Hall, Police Headquarters renovations by Saccoccio Associates Architects. That's a motion.
Second.
Anything else? Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli? Yes. Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.